that it prompts. God's love is seen in the gift of his Son. That's how we see it. In 1 John 4, 9 and 10, but obviously this is not the love of complacency or affection. That is, it was not drawn out of any excellence of its objects. And that's what it says in those scriptures. It says it was an exercise of the divine will in deliberate choice. So the love that it's talking about there, where it says it's not that you loved God, it's that God loved you, it was a deliberate choice. It was God's deliberate choice. It wasn't out of anything, like it says here, the definition. It wasn't out of any excellence of the object that's loving. It doesn't come anywhere from that. So we are so busy trying to conjure up something. And it doesn't even come from that God's love. Can't even produce it that way. But God's love is an exercise of a divine, deliberate will of God. Does that help? We'll walk away and forget some of this stuff. That's why we have to practice and keep learning. It is a deliberate will of God. A divine move, if you will, to love you. It was God that deliberately loved us, made a divine, deliberate will to love us, and he showed it to us and prompted the action through sending a son. To become human. Human. Human is not bad. God prompted his son to become a human. And to deliberately come. And to present and show humans how it is, how love is in God's view. It's a deliberate move. I love it. Made without assignable cause, save that which lies in the nature of God himself. There is no way that we can ever sit around and say, this person is so loving. This person has God. And this person has no attachment to God. We can't view what we see in people by natural discernment, thinking that that is God. God is love. Love is not God. And I love that. Because we don't understand it all. And we draw from the inner springs of living God in us. And it takes everything in us to allow God to form the nature of Christ in us. Completely opposite to what we are. But there's a part of nature that God deliberately chose in us to redeem it, to bring it back into revelation of a God that we do not know. We're all on that ground. College doesn't do it, but college helps us to learn to use the God-given brain to exercise some things about life. So now we have in verse 9, God's love was revealed among us in... Oh, wait, somebody read it from New American Standard. What time is it? I can't see a thing. Am I running out of time?
10:57.
Okay. God's love. If someone would read verse 9.
By this, the love of God was manifested in us, that God has sent his only begotten Son into the world so that we might live through him.
This was hidden This was hidden before Christ came. This was a hidden thing. So this is God's grace because Jesus came. What? What did we read at the beginning? He brings grace and truth. So God's love was revealed among us in this way. How was God's love revealed among us? In this way. This is what the scriptures say. In this way, God's love was revealed to us. God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. That's how the love of God is revealed to us. Is that God sent a Son, an only begotten Son, the very essence of what he is, came to the world. And we are revealed because of that. The Son who reveals God the Father. Do we believe this? Do we? We didn't believe, I don't think, a lot of us. It takes time to learn that God really does love us. And then do we really believe that God is known by this? Do we know this? That this is how God is known? That we live through Jesus, the Son. Do we know? Do we believe that God is known? God is already known. If we're waiting around, waiting to know God more, then we need to dig into what God says because God is already known. That's what it says there. He's already known by the love. He's revealed among us by knowing that God sent him. That is a revelation. That's why it's so hard to explain to someone when you have a revelation of Jesus coming and Jesus coming into your life. It's so hard to explain to someone who knows all about that in their religious experience or in a Christian experience of generational stuff because they heard all this. But where our message is that God is revealed in his Son, who, by the way, loves you and has come to the earth. The Gnostics, they were denying that. They were saying, yeah, Jesus is God's Son. Yeah, we believe all this, but he never came to earth. He doesn't come into you. He doesn't reveal himself to you by entering your life. You don't live by him. You live by knowing that it's the Son of God. And a lot of people live that way, but they don't know because it hasn't been revealed to them that God is alive and entered humanity. They don't really believe that. They believe he exists, yes, that he died, yes, he went to the cross, yes, but they don't believe he came into humans and he lives. And that's what they're trying to teach them. That everything we do is from that. Only Son means Christ was one of a kind, and he is distinguished above any other sons of God. And by the way, Christ was the very same substance that God was, but it says in the scriptures that Jesus is the first Son of God, the only Son of God, but there's many, many other sons that are being produced through Jesus. And that's us. And then verse 10, someone read that from New American Standard.
In this is love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins.
Yes, the atoning sacrifice for our sins. God's love, it invokes our love, and not the other way around. We don't evoke God's love by loving him so much and doing so much for him. It's the other way around. We have to reverse it. God's love invokes our love. When we